said don't do crystal meth in the bathroom all night long.
That's my opinion!
He will never emotionally fulfill you.
Because I don't want to be a part of it.
Go to sleep! Go to sleep!
Close your legs to married men, trash box.
I'll tell you how I'm doing. Not well, bitch.
Who gonna check me, boo?
Welcome to Morally Corrupt. I am Rachel Lindsay. It is our Bravo's news show, which means I am always joined by a special guest. But wow, what a treat I have today. First off, we met in person just recently at BravoCon. You don't get to say that too often, but I am joined. We've had his co-host on the show a couple of times, but now we are joined by the hilarious and brilliant Ronnie Karam, comedian, writer, and co-host of the wildly popular podcast, Watch What Crappens. Ronnie, welcome to Morally Corrupt.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for having me. It's so nice to see you.
No, it's so nice to see you. It's the perfect time to have you. We're still recovering from BravoCon. All the news is kind of trickling down from the weekend, which I'm a little upset as a person who was staying at the hotel where everyone was. I didn't see any of some of this drama that was going on. I wasn't privy to any exclusive news. I'm hoping you are, that you can maybe drop here on the podcast. But I am still, I don't know if I'm like, it's a BravoCon hangover, but like, I'm still reeling from BravoCon. I'm still on a bit of a high from it. It was a lot of fun.
It took a few days for sure to like calm down and sleep. There was a lot of sleep required after that. And then like emotional things too. Like, how do I feel about this? You know, like when you see people, like we saw a lot of people who would come up, and the thing we heard most was, I know you hate me, but you know, because our shows, we kind of make fun of everything. And so people can take that as us hating them, but we don't hate, we love Bravo, you know, but I guess if it's you listening, I would never listen to it if it was about me. I would never ever do that to myself. But, you know, there was a lot of that. I left like, am I just a jerk? Like, what the hell? You know, so I had to get over that, you know, do some therapy sessions. And now everything's great.
Everything's great. It's all balanced out. I don't like to meet Bravo celebrities because then it becomes hard for me to talk about them. You know, you guys do your thing over there on Watch What Crappens and you're hilarious and you do the impressions and all of that. Like, we're morally corrupt. So we're snarky. We're not nice over here either. And then you see someone and they're so nice, which of course, right? Like coming from reality TV, I know what you see is not always what you get. But I don't want to meet them because it just makes it harder. And then I feel like I have to change my approach in how I talk about people from the show because it's hard for them because, you know, like they're characters. It's almost like talking about an actor on a scripted show. That's how I try to look at it. Like, you're entertaining me. Yes, it might be your real life. It might be your real life, but I have to talk about you like I don't know you. I have to.
Yeah, and I don't give excuses to people like the characters thing. Like, this is not Seinfeld, okay? Like, you're a dick in real life and you're a dick on the thing. So let's not pretend. But, you know, like I'm a dick sometimes in real life. And if they caught me on camera, I would be probably shown in a much worse light. But the whole, like, it's editing. No, it's not. It's not editing.
No, it's not.
Okay?
It's not editing. It really isn't editing.
But I still feel bad because you see people at their worst and then you talk about them at their worst. And then in real life, they're like, well, you said this thing. And I'm like, yeah, but you did it. So, but I still, you know, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you in real life. I always say, I don't hate
Love
you in
your
real
show.
life. Yeah. I was like, this is.
Love your show. We're what keeps it going. We're part of what keeps it going, I should say.
Yeah.
Like, we're fans of the show. We talk about it, make a living off of it. You know,
Yes.
it's like
Well, that's the other part too, is like I make a living skewering you know, and then seeing them. But everyone was really cool. I mean, the people that were nicer to, they're nice to us and stuff, but it's the people that we're mean to that have something to say, or they have like defense for themselves where they're like, well, you know, I know you thought this, but here's what was really happening. And then it turns into half an hour. And I'm like, lady, I'm here for the buffet. Like, it's so fun watching you on TV, but I need an editor. Like, I need the editor in here.
That's a credit to how popular your podcast is, because there are plenty of podcasts out there that talk about Bravo that I know that most of these Bravo celebrities have never heard the opinions that are given about them, but they hear yours or it's brought to their attention because how popular you guys
Well,
are.
I think it's the brought to your attention part that you just said, because listen, nobody has time. These people on these shows do not sit around for an hour and a half to listen to a recap.
I think they do.
You do?
About themselves?
Well, when it's about
100%.
themselves. But let me tell you who
100%.
does have the time. The hairstylists and the husbands. That's where we get into
That's
it,
the
is
tea.
the husbands listen, and then they think it's hilarious because we're saying things I guess they can't say about their housewives, right? Their wives.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so they think it's really funny when we're ragging on their wives. And so they have the wives listen, and then guess who doesn't find it amusing? The wives. They're like,
The
what the
wives.
hell? You know?
Who's the husband that you would say you're the friendliest with?
I really like Seth from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Of course.
He's
Of
just so
course.
funny. And he's such a goober, and he can make fun of himself. So I like him. All
He
the
is a
Salt Lake
goober.
City husbands are pretty nice. Shane was really nice. I had never met Shane from OC, but he was the one I was talking
Okay.
about. Who's like, I listened to it and Emily has to hear it. And so he's like, Emily, come over here. And she's like, oh God,
That makes
great.
sense. For
Yeah.
their dynamic, that makes sense. Of course, Shane is like, listen to them shitting on you over here.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny?
Yeah.
that Emily has become one of my favorites, if not my favorite right now on OC. So I
Really?
really, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
If we
I
did
did
this
not.
together every week, we would fight it out. I have a feeling already.
And we totally could. I'm a fighter.
Me
I'm
too.
a fighter, but I didn't always feel that way about her, and now I like really enjoy her dynamic on the show. Let's hop into some of this Bravo news because there's a lot going on, and I think I don't know. I don't want to say what I think. I was going to say I think this news is shocking, but you might not. Right after BravoCon, which I also have a question about. Did you watch the Bravos?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay, me neither. And so the question I have, because this news is about Kandi and Todd, who have announced that they're separating after 11 years of marriage. I thought, I don't know if I saw Todd at the Bravos when Kandi was accepting her award. I don't know that I
Oh.
saw any photos or videos. I saw Riley, and he may have been in the audience, but I didn't watch, so I am not sure about that. But a couple of days after, everybody's on a high. Apparently, Kandi's speech brought everybody to tears. It was very emotional. She's passing the torch to Riley. They won an award at the Bravos, the whole thing. And then boom, bam, Kandi puts out a statement. Long statement. She says, after deep thought and a lot of prayer, I've made the decision to move forward with a divorce. She said, doesn't sound amicable.
Yeah.
This is a difficult and emotional time, but my focus remains on protecting my peace, being the best mother I can be, and co-parenting with love and respect. I'm stepping into a new chapter, pouring into my work, my family, and my own growth. I'm grateful to everyone who supported us throughout the years, and I ask for privacy, grace, and understanding as we navigate this transition with our family. Ronnie, your thoughts on the divorce?
Well, you mentioned being surprised. I was actually surprised. I mean, I wasn't surprised that it wasn't working out because, I mean, I watched that show. I've watched every episode of that show. I love that show. And Todd is such a little goober. I mean, I can't believe she put up with him that long. But I was surprised that they were getting divorced because I thought Kandi was just going to deal with it. It's like, I made this decision. I know he's not the best. He wants his little apartment in Jersey. Okay, he can have it. He wants a taco truck or whatever he was doing. Remember when he was like trying to open 9 million businesses, which now we know why, because he was making his escape hatch because of a prenup or whatever. But I mean, allegedly. But I'm surprised that she actually did it. And I'm very happy for her for doing it because I thought she would just try to I thought she'd try to keep it just to avoid the told you so. People,
Which I've been there. I understand that. It makes me think that is why she decided not to come back. Because I don't know if it was them telling her not to come back or if she decided to step away. I'm not sure. I think the story is that she did. But I wonder if things were so bad in their marriage that she said, I'm going to step away because she did not want that to play out. Maybe it got to the point where it was like, it was to where they couldn't hide it. And maybe, Mama Joyce was very involved with her opinions and the aunties. It was a scheme. Everybody kept saying it's a scheme that Todd set up. It has new meaning. It has new meaning now.
Yeah, Bertha is taking a victory lap around the old lady gang, which is closed now anyway, but she's still probably out there victory lapping around like, I
I
told
hope
you,
not.
I told you,
I hope not.
doing her little dance that she does.
Yeah, it made me also think about the prenup because remember how big of a deal that was. And I
Hmm.
saw something online, and I don't know, it was on social media, so I don't know how real it was, but they were breaking down what Kandi had carved out with the prenup. And if true, Candy's fine. Emotionally, she may not be. Obviously, they have children, but as far as her assets and even what they did together, apparently it was 50-50 of what you put into it or something like that. I don't know if this is actually true, but Kandi, unlike myself, will be fine post divorce financially, it sounds like. But
Oh yeah,
obviously,
she's
there's
gonna be
so many
fine.
other pieces to pick up. They have two children together. Riley, obviously, 11 years. She was with Todd. That's 11 years of marriage, not even how many years they were together prior to that.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's always
yeah,
sad. It's always
it's
sad when
sad.
somebody gets divorced, and they were such a staple. And I don't know. I was kind of hoping that Kandi was riding off into the sunset of we're taking the cameras out of our lives. We're just going to enjoy and celebrate each other without everybody else's opinions. And I don't know. Now I'm thinking of something else. It may have just been. I know when I stopped working so much, and I was at home and I had to sit in the reality of my relationship, I was like, "Ooh, I don't like it here."
Well,
Like,
hell
I'm
yeah,
not
when you actually
busy.
have to be around the dork you picked, it's like I think that every relationship's kind of like that, people go through it when they do the empty nesting thing where they're like, "Oh God, now I'm stuck with you." Like, what are we going to talk about? But Kandi has not slowed down at all. I mean, she's been keeping so busy. And I think Todd was just getting so annoying. I mean, when was the last time they shot Atlanta was what, 2 years ago? And he was being
Yeah.
so annoying during that with his stupid bachelor apartment, which God knows what he was doing in that. And then trying to open all these businesses that didn't even make sense. He was like, well, I want to have a Mexican food restaurant now. It's like, what, sir? What what are you doing? And none of those seem to really be working out. And I think he was probably doing that because it's the 50-50 thing, so he was getting half
Yeah.
of those. And then when she started closing those restaurants, I thought, oh, that's when I got my first hint of she's done with Todd. Because I think she was keeping,
Really?
yeah, because she kept those businesses to keep Todd busy. Those were Todd's way of making money. Candy didn't want to do half that shit, I don't think. She
That's
didn't seem
so
like it.
true.
And when they said Blaze is out of here, the
Is that where the
restaurant,
shooting
not the
was?
kid. But when they said Blaze is done and then they said Old Lady Gang is done, I was like, oh, this is too much to be okay over there,
Yeah,
because Todd had those restaurants. So
I
she's doing all
forgot
this
they were
Broadway
tots.
stuff and doing all this, and he's obviously like mismanaging. And I say obviously not as someone who was there, but as someone who watched the show.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
wow.
It's hard for a man. It shouldn't be, but, I experienced this on a much smaller scale than Candy and Todd, but it's hard for a man when the woman is just a star and constantly knocks it out the park and her success has no limits and is just an icon and she was also touring with Escape music group. They were back
Hmm.
together and seems like doing everything she could to run away from home. Now she's off tour. I don't think the show's on Broadway right now, and it's like, let me go ahead and wrap this thing up.
Yeah, and I think you're right. It is really hard for a lot of men, especially these TV men. But what I don't get is in
Yeah,
both of your situations, they knew. I mean, it's not a surprise. Like you had already come from doing The Bachelor, so you were
I
already a big
know.
star when you got to be the bachelor, when you were cast as the Bachelorette. So they already knew. And I recapped your season of The Bachelor and The Bachelorette on
Thank you.
another podcast I used to do called Rose Pricks. And I was just screaming, like, don't do it. Because that guy was so obsessed with his mother. I remember I was like, oh, just marry your mother. I used to always get so
Well,
pissed at that guy. I was like, don't do it, run. But it's easy to say when you're not in the relationship. Because when I'm in a relationship, which is very rare, but even when I'm dating somebody, you'll know that I'm dating somebody because it will be the person I'm with that all my friends hate. And they're like, don't, you know.
That is typically not me.
Really?
That is not me.
It's
Yes.
me for sure. But you don't, my point is you just don't see the same thing when
You
you're in
don't.
it, you know?
Because emotions aren't black and white. And it's so
Right.
true. And I also just like know the being a woman and successful in so many areas, but not love. There's certain sacrifices that you're willing to make. And I think that those men, at least in my situation, they lied to themselves, or maybe I don't want to say an inflated sense of self, but are a little bit delusional about the reality of who they are. And there's this idea that because the woman is successful, that they're going to latch onto that and have equal or greater success. And then
Hmm.
when it doesn't happen, again, this is my situation, you're blamed for them not being successful. You're the reason. They had to do all of this stuff. Like you have, this was just still just a wild statement. Your success is because of them. I'm sorry, I have to laugh.
Yeah. It's because I carried
My
your
judge
purse all that
laughed.
time. I carried your purse so well. That is how you could get out there.
My judge goes, "What? What?" I mean, her hands were tied legally, but she's, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
Anyways, this is about Kandi and Todd. We wish them well. We wish them well. Hopefully, I hope they have a great co-parenting situation because that's hard. Kids are young. Kids are very, very young. So
Yeah, but
I
I'm
do
sure
hope
they
the
have a
best for
lot
them.
of like nanny help, and not that that makes it easier. Well, it does make it easier. I mean, I think if you have a lot of help and stuff, so I think as long as you keep the same help, you're good.
Yeah,
Just get rid of
yeah.
the Todd, keep the same nannies,
They
get
won't
rid of
see
the
them
Todd.
living in the same house, but we'll see.
Yeah. They'll
We'll
be
see.
okay. I think they'll be okay.
Ronnie's like,
Candy,
divorce is normal. They'll be fine.
keep the
They'll be
help, keep the
fine.
help, get rid of the man. It's my advice to everybody. But yeah, Candy's a good egg. I think she'll be okay. And I think
Yeah.
anybody who watched that show, a lot of us, I won't say everybody, but a lot of us who watched that show always wanted better for Candy anyway, because Todd always had that like little jealous edge to him and he didn't hide it. He brought it right onto the
Mhm.
show, and that was not cute. So bye-bye. Enjoy your New Jersey condo. I hope you got that.
Goodbye,
Goodbye,
Todd.
sir. You are done
Goodbye.
here.
Speaking of other divorces,
Yay.
Jenna Lyons on Friday announced she wasn't going to return for season 16 of RHONY, to which I think we all said, duh. I thought that was obvious, and we knew that. Also, I hate when they say season 16. It's
I
season
know.
3
Just
of
keep
New
it season
RHONY.
3. Yeah.
Yeah, like stop that. But I thought I was shocked when this announcement came because I was like, yeah, I thought we already knew that. But apparently she was asked to participate in season 16 as a friend of the cast, which is all the energy she was giving us anyway. And like, I guess because, she never really gave us her personal life because her significant other didn't want to be filmed. I mean, we met her son, and I think maybe there was another girlfriend before that didn't. I don't know. I could be conflating different stories. But anyways, she's going to
Well,
be
she showed her son and she pretended she got that Rolls Royce or whatever. Remember, she pretended she bought a Rolls Royce. And then what else did she do? I like when her brother came to town and she was like, yeah, I'm just one of the people. I just designed this whole 30 Rock area what was it? I forgot what her storyline was, but
I don't remember that part.
I kind of she was hired to design like just normal people, like what normal people, I don't know. It was something like that where it's like, oh yeah, you're very normal, Jenna Lyons. I like Jenna
Remember,
Lyons' energy
I like that.
as far as reacting to everybody. Her whole thing was like, aren't these ladies just crazy? But she was just so quiet. So yeah, she didn't really fit there. I really think she would have been great if she had her girlfriend on there because her girlfriend is apparently a riot. Like she's very
Oh, really?
outspoken. Yeah, Jenna says she won't have her on the show because she'll get canceled like in 2
Oh, I
seconds.
thought she didn't want to be on the show. Oh, that's interesting.
Well, I think she doesn't want to be on the show because she'll be canceled. She doesn't want to deal with all the publicity of what her mouth would get her into.
Sure.
But I think that would have made a great. She could have done the Melissa Gorga thing where Melissa Gorga's on the show, but she's kind of still on the show because her husband's so entertaining, No offense.
Oh,
But
I caught that, and I agree with you.
yeah.
Definitely agree with you. I always say if it came down between the two, it's like Melissa's got to go, keep Teresa. But now they're fake, pretending to be we are family all over again, to bring back the show, which to that I hope doesn't happen. But anyways, I like Jenna for the show. Partly because I just think Jenna Lyons is so fabulous. I was a fan of her before she was on the show. I watched her HBO Max show. I just love her style. I loved how she does try to act like she's one of the people, but then she walks into this Carrie Bradshaw-esque apartment
Yeah.
that it's like Carrie, yeah, it's like, this is millions on millions of dollars, and she's just
Right.
renovating it, and she's showing this fabulous closet, and then she has the clothing sale, or why can I think of what this called?
Yeah, the
I would keep
closet
wanting to say
sale or
yard
whatever.
sale because I'm
Yeah, it
from
was
the
kind
South,
of.
but the
Yeah.
closet sale, and it's like Sunny Hostin is shopping at her closet. You know what I mean? Like, this is how fabulous the line is wrapped around the block, because Jenna Lyons is fabulous, and I just felt like she brought something that was very New York to the show, especially when it was
Yeah.
women that we did not know, and
Yeah.
now we know them. So
I
fine, she will be
agree.
missed.
No, I'm gonna
Is
miss
there
her, and I also think it's a mistake because Jenna Lyons was like just enough of a weirdo, and I think that people
just
thought
not?
she's too normal because she was very soft spoken. She wouldn't really fight with the ladies, and she was
Yeah.
sensitive, stuff like that. But this is when she started to crack a little. Like they started to crack her a little in the season, and then plus she had all the things where she had to admit that she was just borrowing the car to make a statement. She didn't really buy it.
Mhm.
Then she had the closet sale. Then we find out her apartment, she's been there so long and maybe things are breaking down. And I saw kind of a modern Sonia possibility there because when Sonia Morgan came on the show, she was very normal. She didn't really go cuckoo until a couple
Yeah,
years
she
later.
was.
And I would have loved to have seen that trajectory with Jenna. Just start to see the cracks starting to show and just watch what it's like. I don't know. I guess she would never be poor like Sonia, but I don't know. I saw some similarities there.
And then maybe she did too, which is why she was like, I have too much of a reputation. Sonia was holding on to somebody else's reputation with the Morgan name.
Yeah.
Jenna's like, I got my own. Maybe I got to nip this in the bud before. But
Yeah.
maybe she'll come back and surprise us. Who knows? But we do know that Aaron, Jessel, and Sai are coming back. We also know that when she made her announcement, she tagged Aaron, Jessel, Sai, Uba, and Raquel and left out Bryn, which says a lot because Jenna was the one who really tried to rein Bryn in. And I guess after that reunion, she was like, absolutely not.
Well, Bryn was the funny one when she put her post out. She's like, "Hi, I'm just making the announcement that I have decided not to return to Real Housewives of New York. My career is just so great." It's like, girl, you did not make that decision.
Yeah,
Stop.
duh.
The only
You would've-
person surprised is you, man.
Yes, you would have done the show without being friends with any of them. You would have
Yeah.
been, yeah. Uba and Raquel aren't coming back. Would you want them to come back to the show?
I would. Uba, yes, for sure. Raquel, yeah. I would say Raquel and Uba over Aaron and Sai. Although I would see why they would bring
Mm.
Aaron because she makes me the craziest on the show.
Same.
But
Same.
I think that she is the one that kind of starts all the fights and, takes the gossip and betrays everybody, which I guess you need that person. I think the reason she makes me crazy is the same reason Emily from OC makes me crazy is that they do that job, but they do it with such a lack of finesse. Like they hear one thing, they go immediately, they blow their load too soon. It's like they don't let the gossip build. They don't, they're just ham-handed. They take it and they betray everybody right off the bat.
Can I make a distinction? Because
Yeah.
I got to fight for Emily since
Okay.
Aaron, I'm with you. I had such disdain for Aaron that she came on this show and I didn't do the interview. I couldn't even do
no.
the interview. Now I don't feel that way now, but so she just got under my skin. And Emily, before I didn't like her because I just thought, why are Emily and Gina here? At the beginning, those first few years, I was like, I just couldn't believe they kept bringing them back and bringing them back. The difference I think with Emily and Aaron is when Emily stirs the pot, she immediately owns it. She's like, yeah, I said it and this is how I feel. Aaron still
Yeah.
tries to play this game of I didn't or that's not what I really meant and in a way, and those pranks bother me. It's just Aaron does stuff in a way that to me irritates me in way more than Emily because I kind of like the person who's like, I'm stirring the pot. Yeah, I said it. And what? What are you going to do? And this is why I said
Yeah.
it. And this is how I feel. I kind of like that in your face.
You're right
And
that
she's
Emily
smart 'cause
does
she can
do
back
that,
it
but
up.
Emily also has a way of starting all the problem, getting everybody to fight, and then somehow moving herself to the back seat where she's like, this isn't my fight, this is your fight. And I'm like, no,
Skill.
this is your fight, man.
It's a skill.
And I
It's a
think what
skill
they
I'm into.
both have in common is that makes me the craziest is ultimately these shows are about friendships. I know people always say these
True.
shows are about fighting each other and blah, blah, blah. But they're about that because they're about friendships in the first place, right?
Yeah.
And I just think there's both such bad friends to the other people on the show. They just betray them every second. I think they're just not nice friends and they
Because they're not
piss me off.
friends. They're not friends. They're not friends. They're
They're
coworkers.
coworkers,
They're
yeah, but
colleagues.
I know, but you want to watch it and still try to believe, you know?
100%. I no, I'm with you. I buy into it, but when I have to talk about it like that, it's like, yeah, well, they're not really friends.
Yeah, I
But
know.
I am excited. Thank God Jessel's coming back, and you know, has grown on me. Sai has
Sai
grown
had a
on me.
much better season. She almost went too far with
She did.
the version 2.0 where she became so nice, you
We
know.
see it all the time.
But Sai grew on me a lot for sure.
Yeah, yeah, they overcorrect. We see it
Hmm.
all the time, which means season 3, hopefully we get something in between. But
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes, yes. In very, I guess, I don't know what the adjective to use for this news is, but I'll let you fill in the blank. I was caught off guard because I did not realize time was moving so fast, or in Jen Shah's case, time was getting cut so quickly in order for her to be released December 10th from the Federal Bureau of Prisons. Jen Shah, guys, is going to be out in less than 3 weeks.
That is so gross. And I think I called that. I think I called it back. I was like, she won't serve 2 years. So maybe I got right up to the mark because I think it's been like 2 years, right?
It's February 2023, so almost 3 years, but wasn't she sentenced for
Almost 3,
6?
six
Wasn't
and a
she
half.
sentenced
Yeah,
6 and a half? So
yeah.
less than half the time is wild. And I know that there's things that you can do and programs you can be involved in to cut the time. And then plus time is like just shaved off for good behavior and stuff like that. But less than half the time,
That's crazy. Her crimes were bad. They
her
were
crimes are bad.
bad. They were
I hope
very,
her
very bad.
restitution is high. I really do hope that she has to pay all of that back. But I just can't believe she's coming out. Here's the question. Do you think that she's definitely going to get some kind of book, a way to monetize, right? Not a sit down, right? Not a sit down. She'll get that, but I mean, a way to monetize. She'll get a book, maybe a little documentary, and particularly because of who she was friends with in that federal camp, prison
Hmm.
camp out there in Bryan, Texas. That minimum security that housed Elizabeth Holmes and also Ghislaine Maxwell. I'll say her name wrong.
Ghislaine. Ghislaine.
Ghislaine Maxwell as well. We don't know if she's gotten cozy with her like she has with Elizabeth, but I'm sure people are going to want to hear all about that. The question is, will she be accepted back into the Bravo universe? Will she get a Karen Huger treatment? I mean, I'm not comparing the crimes by any means, but there is a sector I'm seeing of Bravo fans who are highly pissed off that Karen got a standing ovation, that she was welcomed back immediately. I saw her at the hotel. I ran up, gave her a hug. It was so good to see her. She looked fantastic. And then there's the other side, which I guess I fit in, of accepting Karen back and, forgiving her. And Giselle has said that she's accountable for what she's done and giving her the opportunity to, express that or show that. Where do you think Jen Shah will fall into all of this?
Well, I hate to say it, but I think she will eventually be accepted back because, I mean, Andy said on his show, no, he said on Watch What Happens Live, no, I don't think he said not a chance, but it was close to that. He was like, I have no desire for that to happen.
Yes.
But it's not all up to Andy, and Bravo is messy as hell. And you know that they are going to get her back, and they'll probably try her out to come back for a couple episodes to fight with somebody about what they said behind her back when she was in prison. And then she'll be back. I mean, I don't see how they wouldn't bring her back. That's just,
So I
you know,
disagree.
if the
I
FBI can forgive her or the feds can forgive her, Bravo can forgive her. But I hope not, because I didn't like Jen even before all the crimes. I thought she was obnoxious. She was always trying to
she
start
was.
things over nothing. She was having fits over nothing. And I don't like that. I think they've got it good right now.
She became obnoxious to me towards the end and with the black eye, like her last season. I thought the show, she took up so much space, the show centered around her, that I'm
Mm-hmm.
shocked that it has elevated to the level that it has. We needed her to remove for the other people to be able to shine. What
Mm-hmm.
I think will happen, I don't think she'll be accepted back, but I do think that someone from the cast will sit down with her and
Whitney.
or Brittany, who's thirsty.
Oh,
And
that's true.
Jen Shaw does not have to know her at all.
Or as
She will just
yeah.
she
Or
will
as
sit
Meredith calls them, the shitneys. You
the
got
shit
Brittany and Whitney, so the shitneys.
the shitneys. One of them will sit down with her and she will have her opportunity to talk about how sorry she is and what she went through and why she lied about everything and how, she's taking her life back and how excited she is to be with, I'm assuming she's still with Coach and her
Mm-hmm.
children and all the things that she's missed. And I think that will happen on the show. And then from there, I just don't see it. I mean, is it possible she's a changed woman? Is it possible that she doesn't react with screaming and shouting, that maybe she was so miserable because of what it is that she was doing?
Mm-mm.
Can we explore that a little bit? Like
No.
maybe she was so terrible because she was doing terrible things. She was miserable. She was unhappy. I just wonder if I don't want her back.
I
I'm gonna be
think
very
she was
clear, guys.
honestly, I think she was very happy doing what she was doing. I mean, she was at the top of her game. I think she thought, look at me. I came to this job where I should be making a certain amount of money a year. All these people are robbers in some way. And I found a way to do this to where I'm this rich. I'm on this show. I'm making all this money and I'm pulling it over on everybody. I've got all these people, I mean, that was a huge ring that she had going on. She had no
Yeah.
problem screwing old people over. I don't think for 1 second she felt guilty. I mean, she had her own mother on the show saying, I'll sell my house or I'll put my house up for bail or whatever she was doing when she knew she was guilty. I mean, that is just not a person with any scruples. So I think she was actually very proud of what she was doing. So
Or delusional.
I don't think she was, I'm not going to give her any kind of pity. But also it's because I just didn't like her as a housewife. And if I do like someone as a housewife, with Karen, I give all the pity because I love Karen. So even though Karen was driving drunk 4 damn times, and we know how bad that is, I will still say,
Yeah.
well, at least she didn't hit anybody. I mean, if she hit somebody, that's different, guys. But at least she was good enough to just hit a tree or whatever. Like, I will find an excuse if I like you, But I
Clearly.
won't find it for
Clearly. It doesn't matter what she could do, guys. It's that she didn't.
Yeah,
Okay?
she
It's that she
didn't.
did it.
Let's
It's that
stop
she
playing the
did.
if-then game, okay? This is
Um,
what happened. But, I don't know that I would have given her a standing O either, but I was glad to see her back.
No, yeah, I don't know about that. Did Stu Chains go to jail as well?
I think so, yeah. Stu
Because
Chains
if
went to
Stu
jail.
Chains is still in jail and she's not, that's wild. If Stu Chains, because Karen I know he was her right-hand man, but there's no way that Karen should be released before Stu Chains.
No, Stuart Stu Smith is not still in prison. He was sentenced to 9 months in prison for fraud,
Okay.
but was released in August 2025 after serving less than 8 months.
Because I think he tattled on her. He was an informant.
Yeah, he was the snitch. So yeah, I mean, he got his snitch props. So that's good. He'll probably be thrown off a building or something soon
Oh my God.
because Jen's back. Jen's
Somebody-
coming back.
Somebody's going to give Jen a reality show. The question is, or offer her one if she's allowed to do it. Who knows contractually with Bravo. But I still think on our entire rundown, that is the most shocking news that Jen Shah is getting released. I said, I'm sorry, what? That couldn't have said 2025. It had to have been more than that because I knew it was 6 years or 6.5.
Yeah. So I was wrong. It wasn't 2. It was more than 2 years. I hate being wrong about stuff like that. But,
That's okay.
she's coming out. We'll see. I don't know. The Bravo audience is pretty forgiving. I see a lot of comments saying, well, why can't she come back? Teresa came back. Okay.
She served her time. She
Yeah.
served her time. I could see that. But Teresa wasn't the mastermind. Jen Shah created
Yeah.
something to take advantage of people. I don't even really remember what Teresa was charged for, but it's like,
It was fraud, but not on that level,
yeah,
It was like nice
Yeah.
fraud. It was like
It was
innocent
like,
fraud. You know, it's like
it
Wendy
was cute.
Osefo's
She kept it
fraud. It's like,
cute.
oh, it's just the
Oh,
insurance
let's
companies.
get into that. Let's get into that because I do not think what is being alleged with Wendy and Eddie is cute because yes, it did not harm, thousands of people and steal their money and take advantage of the elderly like a Jen Shah. But the idea that allegedly you were claiming, uh, committing insurance fraud and possibly having, how many was it? 40 and or debit cards in your name, all to create an image that you think a housewife and a house husband should have is wild to me. Like
Yeah.
I keep getting disgusted by, like, the timing couldn't be worse for Wendy as we're watching a brand new season and we're seeing her talk about how she's going to renovate her house and all these things they're going to do and how Bravo and those beautiful editors show all the things that she's doing to her house and are ringing up the charges. How she's talking to her kids and she's like, "You guys could be anything you want to be. Who do you want to be? Thieves." It's like I just I just
Just the
can't.
way you dropped it. It was just part of the sentence. I wasn't expecting that. I was like, damn, well, damn, okay.
Well, that's on the table too, as
Yeah.
well. I had to avoid Wendy and Eddie at BravoCon because I was like, I don't know if they've heard me say anything, but it's just I've just really tried to think of a way out of this for them, and it's just all the evidence to me points that one, if not both, are guilty. But
Yeah.
yeah, I
Well,
just
the
don't think
evidence is
it's
pretty
cute.
damning in this case. The email of like, hey babe, anything else we can claim on this? I want to max it out. Come up with some more Birkins or something. Let's claim it.
Oh, Eddie Hennessy, Eddie Hennessy at work.
Eddie Hennessy and Pam Olive.
Pam Oliver. Wasn't it Pam Oliver?
Pam Oliver, you're right. Yeah.
Poor Pam Oliver. The real life Pam Oliver catching strays in the housewife world. She's sitting back. Now, how did I get into this? Poor Pam Oliver. The only time we are talking about her in pop culture is when we were talking about those terrible wigs they used to put her in. Not to take credit away from how she's a fabulous, fabulous sportscaster, journalist, all the things, sideline reporter. But those wigs that they were having of Pam in were not doing her any favors, and it's totally unfair to her. And neither is Wendy Osefo allegedly using her name on approximately 40 credit and debit cards. Now, it should be known that their attorney has come out and said that this is not true, that these are false allegations against them. But the prosecution is claiming that
yeah,
the aliases and company names were a deliberate attempt to mask their identity. Now, if Eddie Hennessy does not shine a spotlight on you, like, what are we doing? And Eddie's an attorney. What are we doing? Couldn't you just be like Jack Johnson?
Yeah, something. I mean,
Smith?
it's just even the name is pretentious, It's like such an obvious, like, money name. It's like that, get the Henny. But Eddie,
it sounds like a crook.
Yeah, it does. And the whole thing with them that pissed me off is I just thought they would be smarter than this. They went out of
I agree.
town. They did not have a pretend break-in. Like Dorit and PK allegedly, if that whole thing was faked, which I wouldn't doubt it knowing PK. Sorry, I know that offends people, but whatever. If they're going to do it, they're going to get somebody to come throw a brick through the sliding glass window. They're going to get people in masks to come through and do whatever, just take the cell phone, but leave it by the gate. Whatever. If that was faked, they at least made an effort to do a show. These two jokers didn't even have a fake break-in. They have cameras. Nobody's on the camera. They had motion detectors inside. There was nobody. I said on our show, girl, put a wig on a Roomba and have it going around. Do something. You know what I mean? Like, make an effort. Get one of those big blow-up dolls, tape it to the Roomba, send it around in circles so it at least looks like someone's been in your house. I mean, they said someone broke in through a skylight, but then there was not even a footprint on the toilet seat where they would have had to step down. Like, make an effort. If you're going to teach your kids to be, if you're going to give them an example, at least give them the example of being a good criminal.
Yeah, correct. Like, do it right, do it well.
Yeah,
achieve success in all areas.
Do wrong correctly.
Correctly, if you're gonna do it. You know what I think? I think too, a lot of people get away with insurance fraud, And I just think that they thought that they could do the bare minimum, and they were able to get past it. They were able to get through it. And I don't think they were expecting the prosecution to make an example out of them. And it's like, why would you not? When we're seeing housewives go down in every franchise, you're bragging about the things that you have. You're constantly on red carpet. It's like, if there was one thing that I think that even if they were going to be like, oh, we're going to be very cavalier about this whole thing, is they would not have worn the things that they were claiming.
Oh my God.
That to me is like, now that's what you shouldn't have done. Or return them, try to return the things.
Returning the things you're claiming. It's just, there's email chains, there's email receipts, there's so many things and ways that you can get caught. I would have expected better. Now, this is the thing again. I like Wendy for the most part. I mean, there have been seasons where Wendy's just gotten on my nerves, but for the most part, especially this season, I think Wendy is having a great season this season. So for it to happen bums me out, because she's talking about all the degrees and her kids have to have all these degrees. And we know that they're in debt because of those degrees. I mean, those degrees cost so much money. It was announced that they were in like the $1 zillion debt last year because of these degrees. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
degrees are
a lot
expensive.
of it is like, well, it's for their education, well, when it's really, Birkins and stuff like that. But it's just a bummer, man.
It's so disappointing.
Why couldn't they take Emily?
No, stop that. I will not have you do that. Why couldn't they just do better? And then to have the audacity to be running around BravoCon as if, like, I have two schools of thought on this. It's either they were running around because they know it's their last, or they're just truly delusional about the way it looks, even if it is not true. It looks bad. Watching Eddie in the audience in I believe it was a Louis Vuitton. It was white with colorful designs all over it with sunglasses in the audience taking pictures with people. Sir, read the room.
Well, I think he did read the room, and he read it, and it said criminal, 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 criminal. Because you're looking around that room of people who are all kind of doing the same thing. They're all faking to act like they have this amount of money. I mean, housewives' pay is good, but it's not as good as you would think, to see what they're all wearing, what they're all carrying, and all the Birkins and all the cars they get every season and stuff like that. They can't keep up with that money. So I think a lot of them are probably in more trouble than we think. They just haven't been caught yet. So I think for them, they're just like, well, we may have been called out for being a criminal, but we're in a room of them, so we're going to show up anyway,
Yes.
And also, it's just like fake it till you make it kind of thing. Like they have balls of steel, that couple. They showed up at an appearance, I think a week or two after this all happened. That was like a weed, like some kind of weed convention where it was like justice for weed sellers. I don't know. It was something like that they were speakers at, and they were still advertising it on their Instagram. So I think they showed up there. I think they're just like, you know what? Whatever. What we did isn't either not that bad, or we're just going to play it as if it's not that bad and just hope we get off,
That's exactly what they're doing, playing like it's not bad, which is totally a characteristic of a housewife, particularly a good one, a good and entertaining one.
Delusion. It's important. It's an important part of the recipe.
100%. 100%. There's a lot of news that came out after BravoCon, just like stuff that's trickling down. Either it was caught on camera, reported by a Page Six, or, on somebody's social media account. Of all the things that you kind of heard that were coming out, what's something that stood out to you or is the most interesting bit of news?
Oh my gosh, let me think.
I'll give you some of them. Bronwyn, a fan asked Bronwyn on Instagram why she took a picture with anti-LGBTQ Gretchen. Shep was caught ranting in the hotel.
That's good enough. Let's start with that Bronwyn one.
Okay.
Bronwyn makes me crazy. On and off, because she's just so slippery with the truth. I never know really what she's talking about. I feel like she baits people into asking her about stuff or doing stuff, and then acts like she's so morally offended that they've done anything. I think she's kind of doing it with her husband, where she's like, maybe they've got some kind of open relationship. The way she's talking about it sounds like they have an open relationship, but she's not ready to talk about it yet. But then, is he cheating if he has an open relation? Is it not cheating? I don't know. I think she's like very slippery. But I do also think she's an excellent housewife, and I would give her
Yep.
credit for that.
Yep.
And I'm on her side with the marriage
100%.
stuff and all that. And I'm definitely glad that she's on our side with the LGBTQ. You know, she's a good, strong ally, which I like. And I like
Yeah.
that, you know, the biggest balls in that conference were Gretchen and Slade walking around that conference
Did
the
you see
week
them?
after all this broke, and everybody acting like, hey, Gretchen, hey, Slade. That was disgusting. It was gross to
Yeah.
see at the conference. I almost barfed seeing them at a party and watching people talk to Slade. I was taking notes on who was talking to those losers.
Can you
know?
tell? Can you say? Who? Give me
No,
one person.
what was
Who do you
it
want to
that-
throw
it
under
was
the bus?
No, I'm not allowed. But, you know, it's just one of those things where you're seeing all these people in one room, which is crazy enough for me to see all
Yeah.
these Bravo Lebs in one
It
room.
is.
But just seeing him like glad handing everybody like he's running for mayor, and just not people just giving him a dirty look and walking away, it was pretty gross to me.
Well, of course they did, because if you watch the reunion, the women kind of gave her a pass. Like, they just kind of let it go. And we talked about that here, and on our recap on Friday, so I won't get too into it. But it's like the women somehow moved it on to Tamra rather than really focusing on the fact that Gretchen really didn't have a great explanation to liking over or following over 200 accounts that have hateful rhetoric.
Yeah.
Like, we just kind of
Andy was
moved
handing her
past it.
answers. I mean, Andy was basically
he
like,
really
well,
was.
I mean, she did unlike the stuff. Isn't that good, guys? Like, he was trying to help her. I was like, what am I watching?
I was so confused by this. I almost was like, does the network not want to be tied to this? Is the network trying to be like, they don't want it to look like, once again, we have somebody tied to our franchises or our shows who is tied to something extremely problematic? Like, that's what it felt like when
Kind
Andy
of,
was
but then
giving her
why
a
didn't they
rap.
just take it out of the show in the first place? This didn't
Oh,
even come up till the very end of the
well,
season. If they were going to
it
do
had
that, then
to.
cut it. You
Well,
know?
I think Tamara would have brought it out, or this mysterious man who we're letting all these extra people in would have talked
This
about it. You know what I mean?
mysterious man. Yeah, so it was nice to see Bronwyn be like, well, I'm not going to stand next to a transphobe. And I asked them to move her, or
Yeah.
move me. So that was really nice to see. Yeah, just wanted to say that
Good
based
for
on that. But
Bronwyn.
I was like, good for
No,
Bronwyn.
good
Yeah,
for
good for
Bronwyn.
her.
Good for Bronwyn. I thought this was, Shep ranting in a hotel about Craig and Paige is like, bruh, move on. Like,
Yeah.
why are you so concerned? Like, Craig doesn't want to talk about it. Paige doesn't want to talk about it. But like, you are so stuck on Paige and Craig. So I'm not even going to touch on that. I love the drama that came out with Madison LaCroix and Sai.
I loved it too.
Loved it so much.
What side did you take?
Well, okay, I'm going to say Sai, but not at first with Sai. Because obviously Bravo knew that Madison had an issue with Sai for her to get the question of, for Austin to hold up the picture of Sai and her describe how she felt. So that was great. Thank you, Bravo, for that. That was great. Whoever was producing that on that stage. But Sai saying, not all us brown girls look alike. I'm paraphrasing. I didn't like that. Like, I don't like when you throw that in. If you're going to say that, you got to be correct before you throw the identity, I'll just say politics into all of that. So I didn't like that, but I loved how dismissive she was after that. I wish she would have just been like, I don't care if Gibson Johns put up a picture of us next to each other at BravoCon last year. I don't remember you.
Yeah, I still don't know you.
That's funny. You
Yeah, that was
clearly
funny.
remember me and how mean I was. I have no recollection of you. And that was 2 years ago. So like, she did play into that later, but I wish she would have done that the whole time. What were your thoughts on it?
Pretty much. Well, at first I was Sai's side just because I was like, oh my God. Because when I read that, not all brown girls look the same, I was like, oh shit, did Madison confuse her with somebody? Like, did Madison talk to Giselle and then think it was, I was like, oh my God. Because you never know on Southern
No, it
Charm,
happens.
you know what I
Yes.
mean? And you're just like, oh my God, please, and like as a white person, you're just like, oh God, now what? Like, what did they do now? So at first I was on Sai's side, and then when she's like, no, bitch, you do know me. And then she put up the picture of them together. I was like, oh no, she got Sai, and Sai just used the brown girls. I was like, oh no. So I was kind of cringing the whole time, but I went from Sai's side, then to Madison's side, but then I had to give it I had to at least give equal footing to Sai with the comeback of like, you're all potatoes. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I still don't know you, you know?
Yeah, yeah. She was
So,
like, "You remember me now, bitch?" And it's like, "No, I don't."
yeah, still don't know you.
No, I still don't know you. And I loved it. I loved how dismissive, I loved how snobby it was. I loved how very New York it was.
Yeah.
Like, "Oh, you down there in your little small town in South Carolina, like this is the big leagues, honey." Like so I
Yeah.
just that was the energy that it was giving. And
I,
I like Madison a lot, but I thought she lost this one.
yeah, I think so too. And I liked seeing Sai in anything because I feel like the New York people, the network gives them respect, but the audience is like, fuck that show. Like, I think the audience pretty much universally is like, that show sucks. Like, we keep trying, you know,
We
but
do.
it's not great. And so I was glad to see those girls get into something because it seems like the only person with a PR person worth a damn is Erin because Erin is still in headlines at least once a week. It's like Erin's, you know, not tequila, what's her mezcal that she brought to America
Mezcal.
for the first time, or you know, Erin got a new dog, whatever it is. Erin moved apartments. She's always in the news. And I'm like, who cares about Erin? So it's nice to see Sai get some goss
It's
in
how
there.
I feel about the Naders. It's like, why? Stop telling me. I'm not, nobody's asking for Brooks Nader. Like, stop.
Yeah.
Stop making me know
I
about
call
her.
them the nadas because I know nothing. I know nothing. I don't want to know anything. Go
Same. That's
away.
why I don't watch the show. If I didn't feel like they were forced on me, I would watch their reality show because I like reality TV, particularly like lifestyle ones, and they're Southern gals like myself. But I want plausible deniability. So
Yeah.
I want to be able to be like, I actually don't know because I don't watch the show. I don't know. Another thing that came out, I feel like this happens every year at BravoCon. Something happens at an airport, whether it's with
Yes.
someone's the cast within itself or just Bravo celebrity people with one another. It goes down at the airport. I don't know if it's because people are already cranky, they don't want to wait. They've had to pack. They're in a rush to get home. They're exhausted because it's
Yeah.
never before BravoCon. It's always after.
Always after.
But like, wasn't it Miami last time too? Wasn't it Miami? Or maybe it was after a reunion. Something. This
God,
isn't
who
the
was
first
it?
Miami fight
Oh my
at an
God. It
airport.
was so long ago. Like after all of this, my DVR, my brain DVR erases. So I don't remember who
Yeah,
it was last time, but this time we got a doubleheader because we got the Miami ladies, which was pretty funny, but we also got the
yeah.
Portia thing, which was great. Do you
I
remember
it,
that? Did you
yeah.
watch all of that?
Well, I was retold what the lady was saying after. All
Yeah.
I saw first was that, the FBI was like investigating Portia. And then I kept seeing the video of Portia just walking out, her
Yeah.
big fur
She's
coat,
like,
just
ah, she's
smiling.
like blowing
Hey,
kisses.
I love Portia. Just like unfazed. So it's like, well, but then there was like the police officer or somebody who was in front of her, but everything seemed so friendly. So it was like, what was it? And then for it to come out that she was listening to stuff without her
This was just so
headphones.
good. Okay, so you didn't see the video of her coming off the plane.
No.
This was so good. Okay, so we get police cam footage of Portia coming off the plane. So
Yes.
you just see it from down here, and Portia's just
Mhm.
looking beautiful, acting like she's being interviewed by TMZ. And they're like, so what happened? She's like, well, I went on the plane and I was putting my stuff on. This other lady was already there. And then I was, I had my phone and I was, looking at Instagram or something. And this lady said, do I have to listen to that the whole time? And I said, do you want to? Or something like that, trying to, and then she called me a bitch and it becomes this whole thing. And you're like, oh my God. Well, first of all, Portia, you can't be listening to your Instagram at top volume next to me on a plane either. But I won't be that rude. I'll just
Was
say,
it
like, do you
before
have
takeoff?
headphones? It
Was it before?
was. That's what people keep
Okay.
saying is before takeoff. I don't care if I'm in a McDonald's next to you. Turn that shit off. Get some AirPods or get, some
No.
cheapos. But so at first I was like, well, that sucks. But I would never yell at somebody and be like, hey, bitch, turn off your, Then we see the Karen. That was the best thing. So then the other officer goes up to this Karen, and it's exactly who you would think it is. It's just this, kind of older white lady who's just perturbed. And she's like, well, this lady, and she tells the same story, but she tells it like she comes up and she's watching an Instagram or something. Instagram. And I said, do I have to listen to this? She makes herself sound so innocent, you know? Do I need to listen to this? And she said, you bitch. And then she hit me. She hit me, officer. And I was afraid she was going to murder me. That's what I'm afraid of. She's going to come and she's going to murder me. I mean, it was like an SNL sketch of a Karen. It was just so ridiculous.
And nothing happened. No, I need to go back and see, because once they told me that there was video, I don't know why I didn't go back and look at the woman, but the story enough was entertaining. I do think that there are airport rules, and one of them is that you are free until the door closes, until takeoff. So I don't care if I can hear what it is that you're playing, but once we get in the air, I don't want to hear it. Because I had an issue where I was listening to music through my Meta glasses. And I was sitting next to a woman. This is going to sound so bougie, but I was sitting next to a woman who clearly it was her first time in first class. And I'm listening to you talk on the phone and talk, like show like the camera around and like all these things. And you're just talking loud on the phone. And then the moment you get off, I mean, it hadn't been 10 seconds. And she goes, am I going to have to hear that the entire time?
Oh, God.
And I was like, we hadn't taken off. The volume's coming from right above. It's barely, because I don't even have it loud. And I just look at her and I just keep doing whatever I was doing on my phone. Now, she didn't react the same way. Yeah. But I wonder if she had called me a bitch, with the FBI, which is crazy, be waiting for me as well. Would I have been kicked off the plane? How would I have reacted? There are rules. And Ronnie, I hate to tell you this. You can have your earphones.
You can. I'm not saying it's against the law. Look, where mine comes from is generally kids. It's people with kids, and they give their kids the iPad or the iPhone, and they're like, just entertain yourself. And then they sit there and they play Mario World or whatever at the top volume, and you're sitting there like, dong, 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 or whatever kids show they're watching. And I'm like, raise your children. Like, get your kids some AirPods. Why do I have to listen to your damn kid watching their whatever on YouTube? Like, I don't want to hear it. So, I mean, I'm trying to keep the same energy for adults. But you're right. Like, it's illegal. And like I said, even if it was bothering me, the most I would do is be like, hey, do you have any headphones? Because I've done that before where I'm like, do you have any headphones? And they're like,
oh, have you?
And they, yeah, I have. Yeah. And they put them in. But
it is just rude. It's so rude to not have headphones.
But it's just like, how we all talk to each other. Like, she should have had headphones, and then the other woman should not have been screaming and yelling, and then accusing this woman of punching her on a plane, which didn't happen, and then saying you're afraid yes, she said she hit me. She said she knocked she slapped my phone out of my hand, and it went down the aisle and all this other stuff. And then the officer was like, well, do you want, she goes, I need to have privacy. Why aren't you talking to me in private? You're talking to me in front of all these people? And he said, do you want to be private? And she said, yes, I'm afraid she's going to have me murdered. What she said.
No.
Yeah,
okay, I gotta look on it. Oh my gosh. Guys, I'm doing thank God for you, Ronnie. I'm doing a disservice. I would not have been able to relay all of that information.
It's crazy. So ultimately, like, I don't love the listening to your phone without a thing, but I mean, Team Portia on that one for sure. That lady was cuckoo.
Team Portia. And it makes me even more happier that even after all of that, she walked out just in all her glory.
Oh, just the way she was waving, like.
We just love Portia. We just love her. I loved you being on this show. Thank you so much for coming on. You have to come back. We have to do it in person next time.
Yes.
I love all your takes. We have to get up and chit chat off mic again together, especially since we are both in the Valley.
Yeah, together. That was fantastic. Getting to know you and having dinner with you and stuff was really great. And this was fantastic. Thanks so much for having me. And we're neighbors. Yeah, we're neighbors now.
We're neighbors.
We'll do it soon.
Well, yes, we will do it soon. You guys, it's Thanksgiving. Have a beautiful week. Be safe if you're traveling. Same to you, Ronnie. All the things. Guys, remember there's no Friday show. We will be celebrating Thanksgiving. Again, enjoy your time with your loved ones, your family, your friends, all the things. And remember to root on the Dallas Cowboys as they take on the Kansas City Chiefs. We're back, guys. It's our year. Playoff bound. Here we go. Take care.